صلوات. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. سورة مباركة الفاتحة.
صلوات. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. تیری بات کرتے تجھ سے مدد مانگتے. صلوات. یا خدا ہم کو کسی قابل بنا. یا خدا ہم کو کسی قابل بنا. موم کی طرح ہمارا دل بنا. یا خدا ہم کو کسی قابل بنا. سایہ ہو ہم پر سدا ماں باپ کا. تجھ سے اتنی التجا ہے یا خدا. نیکیوں کی تو ہمیں منزل بنا. یا خدا ہم کو کسی قابل بنا. ہر قدم پر بس تیری رحمت ملے. ہر قدم پر بس تیری رحمت ملے. ہر کسی کو علم کی دولت ملے. دشمنوں کو بنا تو جاہل بنا. یا خدا ہم کو کسی قابل بنا. زندگی اپنی کریمی میں رہے اور تیرا قرآن سینے کا واسطہ دین کو جنت نسا منزل بنا یا خدا ہم کو کسی قابل بنا موم کی طرح ہمارا دل بنا یا خدا ہم کو کسی قابل بنا سلوار
محمد وآل محمد صلوات یہ غم وہ غم ہے کہ دونوں جہاں نے روتے ہیں اور یتیم آج امام زمان ہوتے ہیں ہائے حسن عسکری مولا ہائے حسن عسکری مولا اے بن زہرا 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 عسکری مولا شاہ سامرا عسکری مولا ہے قیامت کی گری آگی کیسی سایہ سے محروم تیرے ہو گئے مہدی ہو کے جدا روت رہا آپ کا بیٹا اے میرے بابا عسکری مولا اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا ہے کیسا اسیری کا ستم تم پہ ہوا ہے تیرے لیے گر تیرا زندان بنا ہے مولا تیرا گھر میں ہوا دفن جنازہ ہائے غربتا عسکری مولا اے بن زہرا 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 عسکری مولا سامرا ہر سال چلا آتے ہے زوار آپ کا تابوت اٹھاتے ہیں عزادار فرش عزا بچتا رہے گا لیجئے پرسا عسکری مولا اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا سارے عزاداروں کے لب پر یہ دعا ہے واسطہ تجھ کو تیرے بیٹے کے دیا ہے دل میں بسا روزہ تیرے مہدی کے بابا ہم کو بلانا عسکری مولا اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا، اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا، عسکری مولا حسن عسکری مولا، حسن عسکری مولا، قیدی و مظلوم میرے 11ویں سرکار، قیدی و مظلوم میرے 11ویں سرکار، دین کو پرسا تمہیں آئے ہے عزادار، پرسا قبول ہو اے میرے سید و سردار، ہم لوگ تیری نظر کرم کا ہے طلبگار، غم یہ تیرا دل میں صدا زندہ رہے گا، روتی ہے دنیا عسکری مولا، اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا، اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا، جب بھی تیرے نام کی ہوتی ہے یہ مجلس، ساتھ میں زہرا کے چلی آتی ہے نرجس، جب بھی تیرا نام کی ہوتی ہے یہ مجلس، ساتھ میں زہرا کے چلی آتی ہے نرجس، دیکھ ذرا محو بکا ہے تیری زوجہ، کرتی ہے نوحہ عسکری مولا، اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا، اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا، پردہ غیبت میں جو بیتے ہے تمہارا، بھیجا اسے جلد پریشاں ہے دنیا، سن لو ذرا بہر خدا وارث کعبہ، ہے یہ التجا عسکری مولا، ہے یہ التجا عسکری مولا، اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا، اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا، شاہ سامرا عسکری مولا، اے بن زہرا عسکری مولا، پر محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔ الفاتح۔
پر محمد و آل محمد صلوات، صلی علی محمد و آل محمد۔ Tonight's Ruhani Majlis announcements. Momineen, today's Majlis has been sponsored by the family of Marhum Jafar Ali Bhai Muhammad Hussain Ali Bhai Danji for the Isal Sawab of Marhum Jafar Ali Bhai Muhammad Hussain Ali Bhai Danji, Marhum Amir Ali Bhai Kaaba, Marhumeens of Danji family, Marhumeens of Ladda family, and Kul Marhumeens. The next Majlis has been sponsored by Bande Khuda for the Isal Sawab of Marhum Ali Bhai Rajab Ali Pardhan, Marhum Hassan Ali Bhai Ghulam Hussain Jeevan, Marhuma Fatma Bhai Hassan Ali Jeevan, Marhum Shaukat Ali Bhai Panjwani, Marhuma Pareen Bhai Mustafa Panjwani, Marhum Imran Hussain Panjwani, and Kul Marhumeens. The next Majlis has been sponsored by Bande Khuda for the Isal Sawab of Marhuma Maryam Bhai Remtullah of Switzerland, Marhuma Marzia Bhai Muhammad Ali Ladda, Marhuma Amina Bhai Binti Hassan Ali Kanani, and Kul Marhumeens. And the last Majlis has been sponsored by Bande Khuda for the Isal Sawab of Marhuma Sikina Bhai Lalji Murji, Marhum Alhaj Muhammad Hussain Bhai Ali Bhai Danji, Marhum Alhaj Jafar Ali Bhai Muhammad Hussain Ali Bhai Danji, Marhuma Hajiani Nargis Bhai Muhammad Hussain Ali Bhai Danji, Marhuma Tasneem Bhai Muhammad Hussain Ali Bhai Danji, and Kul Marhumeens. All are humbly requested to recite Surah Fatiha for all the Marhumeens. Al-Fatiha. Bismillah.
السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله. السلام عليك يا وارث نوح نبي الله. السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله. السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله. السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله. السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا وارث علي أمير المؤمنين ولي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى. السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء. السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا صار الله وابن صاره والورث الموتور. أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرزيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأسلاب الشامكة والأرحام المطهرة، لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مدهمات ثيابها. وأشهد أنك من دائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين. وأشهد أنك الإمام بر التقي الرزي الزكي الهادي المهدي. وأشهد أن لمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والهجة على أهل الدنيا. وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياء ورسوله أني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن بشرائع ديني وخواتيم أملي وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. زيارة حضرت علي أكبر عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد. السلام عليك يا شهيد وابن الشهيد. السلام عليك يا المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرزيت به. زيارة شهداء كربلاء. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباه. السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله وبداه. السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي ولي زكي الناصح. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله. بأبي أنتم وأمي تبتم وتابت الأرض التي فيها دفنت وفزتم فوزا عظيما. فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. ذات حضرت عباس عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا العبد الصالح المطيع لله ولرسوله وأشهد أنك قد جاهدت ونصحت وصبرت حتى أتاك اليقين. لعن الله الظالمين لكم من الأولين والآخرين والحقكم بدرك الجحيم. السلام عليك يا سادات وموالي جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولا وابن مولا. السلام عليك يا قريب القربى. السلام عليك يا سلطان العرب والأجام. السلام عليك يا أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا بقية الله في أرضه. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب الأسر والزمان. الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. السلام عليك يا إمام زماننا هذا. أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك وجل من نصارك ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرزك طوعا وتمتع فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
نعرے تکبیر، نعرے رسالت، نعرے حیدری. مولا کو ورثہ حسن متبع ملا. مولا کو ورثہ حسن متبع ملا. دستے ستم سے ان کو بھی زہر دغا ملا. دستے ستم سے ان کو بھی زہر دغا ملا. ہر روز ایک روز سے صدمہ سوا ملا. ہر روز ایک روز سے صدمہ سوا ملا. کیا خاک میں نشان رسول خدا ملا. کیا خاک میں نشان رسول خدا ملا. زہر اجل سے سبز حسن کا بدن ہوا. زہر سے اجل سے سبز حسن کا بدن ہوا. سبز زہر خدا کا چمن ہوا. صلوات.
ما شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. نعم المولى ونعم النصير رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد واللعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم أجمعين أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يريدون ليطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم يريدون ليطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم والله متم نوره ولو كره الكافرون آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد. My dear elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First and foremost, let's remember all our marhumin, and on this night, eve of Friday, Jumeirah, gift them with Surah Fatiha. We pray to Allah Azza wa Jal to shower His mercy and to forgive the sins of all our marhumin. Recite salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. We send our condolences to the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Zaman, Ajjalallahu Farajahu al-Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. On this occasion, when we have assembled to commemorate the Shahadat of his father, the 11th Imam, Imam Hassan al-Askari, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayh. Elders, brothers and sisters, the verse of the Holy Quran that I have recited is from Surah Saf, 61st Surah in the Holy Quran, verse number 8, in which Allah Azza wa Jal has challenged, not challenged, but if we can say that Allah Azza wa Jal has mentioned it very clearly, that those people who try to put out the divine light, those who try to stop the message of Islam, they will not be successful. Allah Azza wa Jal has said this in the Holy Quran. Yuriduna, they desire, liyutfi'u nur Allah, to put out the light of Allah. That is their desire, that they want to put out the light of Allah. Bi afwahihim, with their mouths. Wallahu mutimmu nurihi, but Allah shall perfect His light. وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ, though the faithless should be averse, though the faithless may dislike it, though the faithless may desist it, Allah Azza wa Jal is going to complete His light. There is no doubt about that. The verse that follows is هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله. This is now the confirmation from Allah Azza wa Jal that there is going to be a time when the religion of Allah, the religion of truth, the religion, the message that was brought by the messenger of Allah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. That message is going to prevail over all the other messages. That religion is going to prevail over all other religions. Similar ayat also appears in Surah Tawbah, Surah number 9, verse number 32. But its presentation is in a little different way. Allah Azza wa Jal says, يُرِيدُونَ أَن يُطْفِعُوا. In Surah As-Saf it was يُرِيدُونَ لِيُطْفِعُوا. Here it is يُرِيدُونَ أَن يُطْفِعُوا نُورَ اللَّهِ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ وَيَأْبَى اللَّهُ إِلَّا أَن يُتِمَّ نُورَهُ. So they desire to put out the light of Allah with their mouths, but Allah is intent on perfecting His light. Though the faithless should be averse, وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. Interestingly, verse number 33 of Surah Tawbah is هُوَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلَ رَسُولَهُ بِالْهُدَى وَدِينِ الْحَقِّ. So again Allah Azza wa Jal is confirming that a time will come when the religion, the message of the Holy Prophet, or the message that the Prophet brought, is going to prevail over all other religions. We will find in history that when the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, started spreading the message of Islam, at that time the Quraysh planned, had strategies in order to put out the message of Allah Azza wa Jal. In order to stop the message of Allah Azza wa Jal, they had that plans. When we go through the history, we find that they started with the people who had accepted the religion of Islam. They started torturing them. They bribed the Holy Prophet. They used different ways in order to stop this message. But the Holy Prophet continued with his mission, facing all the difficulties, went on until the time he passed away from this world. After the passing away of the Holy Prophet, again there were so many strategies that were made by the Muslims at that time to stop the real Islam, to stop the true message, but they did not succeed. During the period of Ghaibat-e-Kubra, we have many instances where we know that the enemies of Islam have used the ways and means to stop the true Islam. And these examples can be given, but I just want to give you one example which is related to the purpose, to the reason why we have assembled today, and that is the Shahadat anniversary of our 11th Imam, Imam Hassan al-Askari, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayh. Ask this question, because this is something which you have heard, you have read about. Ask this question. What was the purpose and reason to destroy the shrine in Samara? They say it is ISIS, they say it is maybe some other who are enemies. So the question is, what was the purpose of the enemies to destroy the shrine in Samara? What they had in mind was that a time will come when we will have control over this area also. And that is the time when we will destroy this grave altogether, and we shall not keep any signs. This is what they had in mind. They wanted to put out the light of Allah Azza wa Jal. And what has happened? The shrine has become much more magnificent. And it has not stopped the people from visiting the shrine. Though people may not spend the night in Samara, but they will still go during the day, and they will still go and visit the shrine, perform the ziyarat, and then return. That movement and that visit has not stopped, it continues. This is a very clear indication where Allah Azza wa Jal says that the enemies have tried, and they will continue to try to put off the message of Allah Azza wa Jal. But remember, in both these verses, Allah Azza wa Jal uses bi afwahihim, with their mouths. So in other words also, that they will try their level best in order to make the people forget about the true religion of Islam. And Allah Azza wa Jalla will not allow that to happen. Something which Banu Umayyah tried, they killed Imam Husaini alayhi salam. Imam Husaini alayhi salam was martyred, and the one who gave that order, today there is no sign as to where that person is buried. And the one who was martyred, 16 million people visit during a short period of time. This is only a short period of time. I'm talking about the whole year. People still visit. This should be enough for me and you to understand, and for all the others to understand, that the true message of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam is the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. There should not be any confusion about it after that, because they are the ones whose duty, that is the duties of A'immah Tahirin alayhimus salam, was to keep the mission of the Holy Prophet alive, was to protect the message that the Holy Prophet brought, and to ensure that that message reaches to all the people. Now we come down to the period of our 11th Imam, and what I have decided to explain this evening, inshallah, is for us to understand what was the period of time of the imamate of our 11th Imam. Who were the rulers and what were the characteristics of these rulers? So the first point I want especially my younger brothers and sisters to understand is that Imam lived only for 28 years. Born in the year 232 after Hijrah, passed away in the year 260 after Hijrah, period of 28 years only. In this period of 28 years, only 6 years were the period of the Imamat. In other words, 22 years he was there together with his father, our 10th Imam. 6th period of his life was in that period of Imamat. And Imam during that period faced many difficulties. But since he was born up to the time he passed away, who were the Banu Abbasi Khulafa who were there? And this is something which I want you to try and explain, and in order to understand the difficult time that our 11th Imam passed. So Imam was born in the year 232, the same year when the tyrant Mutawakkil became the Khalifa of the Muslims. Who was Mutawakkil? Please try to understand these points. We are talking about people who are ruling over Muslims. And when we look at the qualities of a person who can be leader of a Muslim, of the Muslims, those qualities are, of course, according to the teachings of the Quran, according to the guidance provided by the Holy Prophet. But look at these people who claimed themselves to be the Khulafa. Number one point about Mutawakkil was that he was never serious in his life. He used to take everything very, very easy. What was his main interest? His main interest was in drinking. When I said drinking, drinking alcohol, right? And drinking other intoxicants, and in pleasure. Historians have mentioned, Baqir al-Qarashi, Mar'um, mentions in his book Hayat of our 11th Imam, the life of 11th Imam, he said that before the coming of Mutawakkil, no Abbasi Khalifa used to indulge himself in drinking and in music and in pleasure openly in the way that Mutawakkil used to open. Okay? He was despotic, he was proud, he was haughty, and the important thing to understand is that his heart was full of hatred, spite, enmity towards the progeny of the Holy Prophet. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa. Now, Imam Hassan al-Askari is in prime of his youth. So we can say during his teenage, it is at that time when Mutawakkil gives an order to destroy the shrine of Imam Husain alayhi salam. Not only that, he also ordered that those people who go to visit the shrine of Imam Husain alayhi salam should be punished in different ways. Some of them had to pay penalty, some of them had to be punished in different ways. This was his order. He had asked people, that is the Muslims, to go and destroy the shrine of Imam Husain alayhi salam. They refused, and he had to get Jews to go and destroy the shrine of Imam Husain alayhi salam. This is during the time when of course our 10th Imam was alive, but it is also when 11th Imam was there. He witnessed that. Now, I just want to give you an example, or I would like you to feel and understand. God forbids, today if any of our relative who is buried in one of the cemeteries here, and the government comes up with an order of trying to destroy or to remove the signs or anything of the grave, how would one feel? Now consider the position of 10th Imam and 11th Imam. They could not even do anything. This was an order. It had to be done by the order of Mutawakkil. They couldn't do anything. But how much they must have felt. Even the people realized, those who were true followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, even they realized, and there was one poet who wrote, I'm presenting the translation. See how fitting this is. Look at his enmity towards Ahlul Bayt of the Holy Prophet. What does the poet write? He says, by Allah, if the Umayyads had killed the son of the Prophet unjustly, if the Umayyads had killed the son of the Prophet unjustly, recite salawat please. Putting it in humorous way, it is very cold just now. Put your mobile in your pockets, please. By Allah, if the Umayyads had killed the son of the Prophet unjustly, his cousins did the same, here is his tomb, his shrine, his grave destroyed. His cousins means the cousins of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That is Banu Abbas. They were related. And then he says, they felt sorry that they did not participate in killing him. They felt sorry that they did not participate in killing him, so they chased him in the grave. Remember, when I read this poetry, I remember the destruction of Jannatul Baqi. If they could not do harm, or if they could not harm the Ahlul Bayt of the Holy Prophet when they were alive, if they were unsuccessful in stopping the message of Ahlul Bayt reaching the people, they went to the grave. The graves of Ma'sumin alayhimus salam. So many things that have happened in history are being repeated in our era, in our time. Mutawakkil was killed by his own son. So we come to the second one. The second one was son of Mutawakkil, whose name was Al-Muntasir. It was the son who killed his father. It was the son, Al-Muntasir, who killed his father, Mutawakkil, because of his oppression, his injustices, and because of all those evil characters that he had. When he came to power, unfortunately, he was there for a very short period, less than a year. But during that time, when he was there for less than a year, here was one person who turned out different from all Banu Abbasi Khalifa. His first order was that the progeny of the Holy Prophet should be respected and they should be given their due rights. He himself gave money. The person who was governor of Medina, he was removed from the position because he used to torture, he used to harm, he used to harass the progeny of the Holy Prophet. Instead, another person was brought by the name of, recite salawat please. Person by the name of Ali bin al-Hasan, he was brought and he was brought as a governor. He was from the progeny of the Holy Prophet. And he was given money and he was told that he should distribute it amongst the progeny of the Holy Prophet. They should be treated well. The land of Fadak was returned to the progeny of the Holy Prophet. And that order which Mutawakkil had given to stop the people from going to perform the ziyarah of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, that order was removed and people were again asked to go. They were free to go and visit the shrine of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. There was another person. History has written that he was a nomad. But he knew poetry, and you know that amongst the Arabs, poetry is something which is commonly used. He himself says that I went to Karbala, and when I reached Karbala, at that time, when I could not find the grave of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, I started smelling the earth of Karbala, until I reached to a particular point where I saw that that earth was emitting a fragrance which I had never smelled. And I knew that this is the grave of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Allahumma salli Muhammad. But a person who was doing good, trying to bring about equality, trying to bring about justice amongst the Muslims, the Turks who were head of the military, and some of them the viziers, right? When I read this history, this part of the history of Banu Abbas, it tells me beware of the Turkish people. And if I were to start talking about what is happening at present, one would be really surprised that events are happening in Azerbaijan and the Moors are in Turkey. This whole fight against attacking Syria and all that. It is just simple thing. We want to have the control of the wealth, and of course there it is oil. Qatar wanted to pass an oil line from Qatar going up to passing Turkey, so that then they would be able to supply the gas to Europe. Bashar al-Assad refused. When he refused, all this movement started. We are talking about 2011. All these plans were made. So these were Turks who were there, and when they saw these things happening, they decided to dispose Al-Muntasir, and he was removed. Then came the third one, Al-Musta'in. Al-Musta'in was a person who bitterly hated our 11th Imam, Imam Hassan al-Askari, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayh. Now I'm trying to present what were the main reasons as to why Banu Abbasi Khalifa used to hate the progeny or the Imams. Three main reasons. One reason is, remember this, my dear elders, brothers, and this you will witness in your times also, that whenever a person does good, whenever a person has clean heart, whenever a person assists other, a person is knowledgeable, has good morals, he will rule over the hearts of the people. He will not require force in order to please the people. He will rule over the hearts of the people. And people will talk about those fair-minded people, will talk about those who do good. And this is one reason, first reason, that people used to talk good and praise the Ahlul Bayt of the Holy Prophet. Whether it was 10th Imam, whether it was 11th Imam, whether it was 9th Imam, people used to praise them because of their piety, because of their morals, because of the way they conducted amongst the people, their kindness, their generosity. People used to talk good about that. And when Banu Abbasi Khalifa used to come to know about this, that hatred would rise in them as to why people are talking good about them and not talk about us when we are ruling over the people. That is one reason. Second reason is that there were mercenaries. When I talk about mercenaries, it means the bitter enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, who wanted Banu Abbasi to be in power in one way or another. When they could not force the people, when they could not win the hearts of the people, when they could not change the mindset of the people going towards Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, they used to come and fill in the ears of the khulafa, of the rulers, to tell them that, example, 11th Imam has many followers in Medina, and people go and pay money to him, and he is buying arms with that, ready to revolt against you. Sometimes those people who are in authority, in power, have got very weak ear. People come and feed in, right or wrong, immediately they accept without finding what is the truth. And here this was with Banu Abbasi. Same thing used to happen. So these people used to become angry. But the third reason, and the most important reason, that's why I'm bringing this point here, is that even the Banu Abbasi Khulafa had the fear of the coming of 12th Imam. Why was Imam Hassan al-Askari salawatullah wa salamuhu alayh being kept in prison now and then by different khulafa? Idea was stop the coming of the 12th Imam. Even they knew about it. Okay, so they knew about the 12th Imam. But they also knew that the Prophet has said that when he will come, he will establish equity, peace, and justice on this earth. And if he were to come, all these of ours is going to go away. So that hatred there also. Imagine. And I would invite you, inshallah, tomorrow do come for Salatul Fajr, please. Because we are having interactive discussion about the Imam of our time. And we will learn a lot from there. But you will come to know that even at the time when the 12th Imam was born, the Banu Abbasi Khalifa at that time, Al-Mu'tamid, had to keep spies. Even after the 11th Imam passed away from this world, he still had kept spies in order to know whether Imam had a son or not. So in our hearts, there should not be any doubt whether 12th Imam is there or not. He is there. We should not be confused about it. He is there. Because one reason is, this earth cannot be without hujjah of Allah Azza wa Jal. Even the enemies knew, and we should accept it. But this was one of the reasons that we destroyed the Ahlul Bayt of the Holy Prophet. So, this was Al-Musta'in, enemy. He had hatred, and Imam suffered during his time also. The two others I will pass very quickly by the name. One who was called Al-Mu'taz. Al-Mu'taz was the son of Mutawakkil. Al-Mu'taz's name was Zuhair, Mutawakkil's name was Ja'far. So Zuhair bin Ja'far Mutawakkil. He was known as Al-Mu'taz and followed by Al-Muhtadi. These two also came. And the sixth one, the last one, is Al-Mu'tamid. Al-Mu'tamid, when he came to power, it's important to know. Look at the difference. That 9th Imam, 10th Imam, when they became Imam, their ages were less than 10 years. But look at their conduct. When our 11th Imam became Imam, he was 22 years old. When Mu'tamid became the ruler, his age was 25 years. All of them young? 25 years. But you know what this 25-year-old was interested in? Like Mutawakkil, he was only interested in lust and amusement. And what he loved the most was music and singing. So I try to connect this way. This is my own observation. That those people who are interested in music and singing, their connection is with Banu Abbasi and Banu Umayyah. When Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam refused that totally, here is a person, 25 years old, on power. And remember, the Islamic rule was not a small area, vast area. And this fellow is only interested in lust, only interested in amusements. He once ordered that our 9th Imam, together with his brother Ja'far, should be arrested and should be sent to prison. They were sent to prison. I am connecting now with the verse that I recited. Okay? So, Imam is in prison. A person has been kept to look after the Imam. Look after meaning spy. Observe all the activities of the Imam. Report to Mu'tamid. One day Mu'tamid called this person and asked him, what is the news about the 11th Imam? And this person said, I find nothing else except that he spends his nights in worship of Allah and spends his days in fasting. Does he talk against Banu Abbasi? He never bothers. He never even asks. Mu'tamid told him, go, continue keeping. Watch over him. After some time again he called him and asked him, what is the position? Same reply. Now Mu'tamid felt, the reason I've kept him in prison is that he may not turn against Banu Abbasi. And he is sitting here not even bothered about it, not even worried that he has been kept in jail. And he is, instead of paying his attention towards Banu Abbas, he is paying his attention towards Allah. Release him. The order is given, release him. This person goes. What does he find? Imam has already put on his shoes or sandals, everything. Imam has put on his coat as if he is ready to leave. This person is shocked. And he says that you have been released by Mu'tamid. Imam said, fine. Imam rides on his horse, but does not move forward. The person says, why not? He says, release Ja'far also. Release. Remember, 11th Imam and Ja'far were brothers. Release Ja'far also. This person says, but the release of Ja'far, the order to release Ja'far has not been given. Imam said, I will not move from here until Ja'far is released. This person goes. Mu'tamid said, release Ja'far also. Now when they are living together, Imam and Ja'far, Imam says, يريدون ليطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم. They desire to put out the light of Allah with their mouths. والله متم نوره ولو كره المشركون. Allah Azza wa Jal is going to perfect His light. Whether the Kafirin, the faithless, like it or not, whether they detest it, they are averse, it does not matter. The light of Allah is going to be perfect. Imam was referring that it's not only the message of Islam, even those who have been divinely appointed by Allah Azza wa Jal are also the lights of Allah Azza wa Jal. And how much you try to put off the lights, you will never succeed. My dear elders, brothers and sisters, before we come towards Masa'ib, I would like all of us to reflect upon that more than 1,000 years have passed since our 12th Imam went into Ghaibat-e Kubra. And during that time, Kubra, and look at the azadari of Imam Hussain al-Islam in the world after 1,000 years, today. This itself is a proof enough to say that the mazhab of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam is spreading. My dear elders, brothers and sisters, whom should we give this credit to? The ulama, the maraji', the great scholars. So let us try to understand and respect them and understand that they hold a very, very high position. Those who were respected by ulama, those who were who was respected by A'imma Tahirin alayhimus salam, and Allah Azza wa Jal has also raised the position. कि नज़ादारो, जब 8वीं रबीउल अव्वल आती है और जब हम मजलिस में यहाँ इकट्ठा होते हैं, तो जहाँ हम इमाम हसन अल-अस्करी अलैहिस्सलाम को याद करते हैं, वहाँ हम उस वक्त को भी याद करते हैं जैसे अमुक मुअर्रिखीन ने लिखा है कि वो 8वीं रबीउल अव्वल थी कि जब ये लुटा हुआ काफिला जो शाम से रिहा किया गया था 8वीं रबीउल अव्वल को मदीना पहुंचा था। अज़ादारो, इमाम हसन अल-अस्करी को मुअतमिद के हुक्म से जहर दिया गया। वो जहर का असर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता इमाम के जिस्म में फैलने लगा। बस अज़ादारो, जूँ ही ये जहर असर करने लगा, इमाम की तकलीफ़ें बढ़ती गई। इतनी बड़ी, कितने दिन तक इमाम इस तकलीफ़ में मुब्तला थे। एक तारीख़ में जैसे मुंतहल आमाल में लिखा है कि पहली रबीउल अव्वल को इमाम को जहर दिया गया और इमाम की शहादत 8वीं रबीउल अव्वल को हुई। ये पूरा हफ्ता इमाम इस तकलीफ़ में और मुश्किलों में मुब्तला रहे। जहर का असर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता जिस्म में असर करता गया। अज़ादारो, उसके बाद 8वीं रबीउल अव्वल को इमाम हसन अल-अस्करी की शहादत हुई। بس عزاداروں مؤرخین لکھتے ہیں اور اس میں کوئی فرق نہیں ہے، سب مؤرخین نے لکھا ہے کہ جب امام کی شہادت ہوئی تو پورا سامرا اس دن حزن اور غم کر رہا تھا، دکانیں سب بند ہو گئی تھی اور لوگ رو رہے تھے کہ 11ویں امام کا انتقال ہو گیا۔ عزاداروں امام کو غسل بھی دیا گیا، کفن، اور اس کے بعد لاکھوں کا مجمع تھا جو امام کے جنازے میں شریک ہوا اور امام کو دفن کیا گیا۔ میں کہوں گا مولا آپ کو تکلیف ہوئی تھی، مولا آپ اپنے بیٹے کو لوگوں کے سامنے پیش نہیں کیا کرتے تھے، لیکن مولا جب آپ کا انتقال ہوا، آپ کی شہادت ہوئی مولا، اس وقت آپ کو غسل بھی دیا گیا، آپ کی نماز جنازہ بھی آپ کے بیٹے نے پڑھائی۔ ہائے آپ کے جد امام حسین جوان فرزند تھا لیکن اتنا مجبور تھا، اتنا لاچار تھا کہ مولا کی لاش وہی مقتل میں پڑی تھی۔ عزاداروں جب یہ لٹا ہوا قافلہ مدینہ پہنچا ہے، بس عزاداروں ایک فکرہ بیان کروں، امام نے حکم دیا تھا بشیر کو کہ بشیر جاؤ اور مدینے میں خبر دو۔ بس عزاداروں جب لوگوں کو پتہ چلا ہے تو جب لوگ آئے امام کو پرسا دیا، پرسا دینے میں ایک محمد حنفیہ بھی تھے۔ جب وہ آئے ہیں امام کو جب خبر ملی چچا آ رہے ہیں، امام خیمے سے باہر نکلے ہیں، بس عزاداروں ایک مرتبہ محمد حنفیہ نے ہمارے چوتھے امام کو گلے سے لگایا۔ ایک مرتبہ امام نے کہا چچا آہستہ آہستہ گلے لگانا۔ محمد حنفیہ نے پوچھا بیٹا کیا وجہ ہے، میرا بھائی چلا گیا، کیا محبت کم ہو گئی؟ کہا نہیں چچا، میں نے کربلا سے کوفہ اور کوفہ سے شام تک تازیانہ کھا کے آیا ہوں۔ بس عزاداروں جب یہ لٹا ہوا قافلہ پیغمبر کی قبر پہ پہنچا ہے، وہاں پیغمبر کو پرسا دیا۔ اب جب بی بی زینب گئی ہے اپنے گھر میں، بس عزاداروں ایک تاریخ کے مطابق بی بی زینب اتنی ضعیفہ ہو گئی تھی، بی بی کی پشت بھی جھکی ہوئی تھی۔ عبداللہ نے پوچھا تھا من انتی یا امت اللہ، اے کنیز خدا تو کون ہے؟ ایک مرتبہ زینب نے کہا کیا زمانہ ہے، کیا تم نے زینب کو نہیں پہچانا؟ بس عزاداروں جب داخل ہوئے ہیں اور اس حجرے میں جب زینب نے عون اور محمد کے بستر کو دیکھا، زینب ایک ماں تھی، ایک مرتبہ عبداللہ کی طرف متوجہ ہوئی، اے عبداللہ میں تمہیں اور محمد کا پرسا دیتا۔ وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ راجعون۔ ماتم حسین۔
یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین. آج زہرا کے گلستان میں خزاں چھائی ہے. آج زہرا کے گلستان میں خزاں چھائی ہے. آج زہرا کے گلستان میں خزاں چھائی ہے. آج زہرا میں خزاں چھائی ہے. زہر سے مارا لعینوں نے حسن عسکری کو. زہر سے مارا لعینوں نے حسن عسکری کو. سر کھلے روتے ہیں مہدی میرے بابا نہ رہے. ہائے زہرا کے گلستان میں خزاں چھائی ہے. ہائے زہرا کے گلستان میں خزاں چھائی ہے. قید خانے اس سینے سے لگائے رکھنا. قید خانے اس سینے سے لگائے رہنا. رہ گئی مر کے سکینہ تیری دیواروں میں. ہائے زہرا کے گلستان آئی ہے. ہائے گلستان چھائی ہے. جن کی تطہیر پہ شاہد ہے زبان قرآن. جن کی تطہیر پہ شاہد ہے زبان قرآن. ہائے وہ پردہ نشیں شام کے بازاروں میں. ہائے زہرا چھائی. ہائے زہرا چھائی ہے. آخر حسین ماں ہوں. آخر حسین ماں ہوں. آخر حسین ماں ہوں. کیسے گلے پہ تیرے خنجر میں چلتا دیکھوں. آخر حسین ماں ہوں. آخر حسین ماں ہوں. کیسے گلے پہ تیرے خنجر میں چلتا دیکھوں. آخر حسین ماں ہوں. آخر ماں ہوں. چکی کو 20 کر میں بچپن میں تجھ کو پالا. راتوں کو جاگ کر میں جھولا تیرا جھلایا. سو نہ اب زمین پر, سو نہ اب زمین پر, گودی میں آنسو لا لوں. آخر حسین ماں ہوں. آخر حسین ماں ہوں. کیسے گلے پہ تیرے چلتا آخر حسین ماں ہوں. آخر ماں ہوں. اکبر کو اپنے کاندھے پہ کس طرح اٹھایا. چھوٹی لحد میں اصغر کو کس طرح سلایا، تمہاری بے کسی پر، تمہاری بے کسی پر کیسے نہ خوں بہاؤں، آخر حسین ماں ہوں، آخر حسین ماں ہوں، کیسے گلے پہ تیرے دیکھوں، حسین ماں ہوں، آخر ہوں، پامال ہو نہ جائے لاشا تمہارا رن میں، میرا جگر ہے ٹکڑے قوت نہیں بدن میں، تیرے بدن کے ٹکڑے، تیرے بدن کے ٹکڑے کیسے میں خود اٹھاؤں، آخر حسین ماں ہوں، آخر حسین ماں ہوں، کیسے گلے تیرے گلے پہ ظالم خنجر چلا رہا ہے، دریا لہو کا تیرے گردن سے بہ رہا ہے، اب کیسے تیرے تن سے، اب کیسے تیرے تن سے جان کو نکلتا دیکھوں، آخر حسین ماں ہوں، آخر حسین ماں ہوں، کیسے گلے پہ تیرے خنجر میں چلتا دیکھوں، آخر حسین ماں ہوں، آخر حسین ماں ہوں، یا حسین، 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 بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔ السلام علیک یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیک یا امیر المؤمنین، السلام علیک یا فاطمة الزہراء سیدتی نساء العالمین، السلام علیک یا حسن المجتبى، السلام علیک یا ابا عبد اللہ، السلام علی الحسین وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولى ابن مولى، السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء، السلطان أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا، كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب العصر والزمان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان، السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك، واجعلنا من أنصارك وأعوانك ورحمة الله وبركاته.
اللهم صل عليك الحسن صلى عليه آتی صلی سہا علی واسا آئین واسا آئین وائنا حتی تسو حضرت اللہ حضرت اللہ صلات صلوات